Hey everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back to Kyle's Financial News. Today's date is June 17th, 2024. Last week I did some coverage on GameStop. They continue to just make headlines and it's such a fun topic to continue to circle around back to. They were supposed to have their investor meeting, their annual investors meeting last week, and as soon as they started to host it, it had some technical difficulties. Their stream capabilities started to become a little bit oversaturated. I guess servers got overloaded and they immediately closed it down and said, we're going to host it again on another day. So today was the day. They hosted it again today, and apparently it was pretty short. We know they're sitting on about $2 billion in cash from their 75 million shares that they added during that run-up of their share price over the last week or two, but there was no further information as to what they are planning or expecting to be able to put those funds to use on to increase the value of their company. And that doesn't entirely surprise me, mainly because they hadn't accounted for suddenly having that money in the first place, especially not this short in moments and times notice to their annual investors meeting. So they hadn't accounted for the share price to just abruptly go up to $50, $60, $70 overnight. And when that did happen, they decided to take advantage of it and introduce another 75 million shares and take some capital out and be able to reuse that for the benefit of their company. But who was to say if or when that was going to happen? I certainly don't think that they had any plans kind of sitting around in the background that said, you know, if we had $2 billion tomorrow, this is what we would do with it. So if they do have some real use cases, it's probably going to take a while to come to fruition, as I would expect with that. Aside from GameStop, indexes continue to push all-time highs. Apple's doing great today. The tech sector did pretty well today. Everything AI, of course, is continuing to do well. There is hardly any earnings reports going on this week, only a few single-digit company earnings going on any given day this week. There is more economic U.S. data coming out. Retail sales numbers will come out tomorrow. Building permits come out Thursday, and then home sales data comes out Friday, and there's a bunch of data in between those days and those big ones too, but I think those will kind of be the ones to look out for. Retail sales numbers month over month come out tomorrow. Historically, around this time last year, we were seeing a surprise of about 0.2%, 0.1, 0.2%. If we get any surprise here at all, we might see a little bit of market rally, but the counter argument to that is if we see higher and higher than expected retail sales number, then to the Federal Reserve, that suggests that the quantitative tightening is still not really being felt all the way across the board. So that could also go on to suggest to the Federal Reserve that they need to keep rates higher for longer. And that could go along with the narrative that we may not see interest rates go down at all for the rest of 2024. I covered this in a previous video where the expectations for interest rates was to be lowered 2 to 3 times between now and the end of the year. And now expectations have gone down to maybe we will only see one event where interest rates decrease before the end of the year. Quite frankly, I think Jerome Powell is trying to avoid saying that there won't be any interest rate lowerings before the end of the year. So if we continue to get data that suggests that the consumers are still gladly spending and they have funds to go around, they're still buying homes, buying cars, so on and so forth, then that will just further okay the Fed to keep those rates just pinned at 5.25, 5.5% and not let up until we start to see the impact of that in the consumer's wallet. So be on the lookout for some index pre-market action, and I will cover that at the end of the day tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Catch you later.